Hello, my name is Sonia Zarnecki with the League of Women Voters, and this is a training video for our volunteers from the League and other organizations who will be doing voter registration and tabling for the 2026 midterms. The League of Women Voters of Kansas is a nonpartisan grassroots civic organization that encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. This is our mission statement, but today we'll focus on voter registration and information. The most important thing is that you, as a league member or partner with the league, do this work in a nonpartisan fashion. We absolutely take stands on issues, and you can see that the league takes a number of strong stands on a number of policies through our state organization, but we never express opinions about individual candidates in our official capacity as league members, and we do not express opinions about political parties. So for more information about the league, please go to lawrenceleague.com. This year, our registration and education for voters will go pretty much the same as in 2025. And we would encourage even non-members of the league to sign up for tabling opportunities. You can use this QR code. That'll take you to the league website where you can sign up. This is an example of what the sign-up sheet looks like. Okay, tabling do's and don'ts. Identify yourself as a league member. Hopefully, you have a badge or a sticker or a member of the organization partnered with us. Ask people if they're registered to vote. Help them find ksvotes.org if they would like to use an online interface, or you can provide a paper copy of the federal form or the Kansas voter registration form. And please do give voters information about deadlines, especially the registration deadlines for the August primary and the general election. We also, this year in 2026, are strongly encouraging voters to vote no on the two constitutional amendments. There will be one about electing judges to the state Supreme Court on the August 4th primary ballot, and there is another one about citizenship and voting on the general election ballot. As I said before, please don't give your personal opinion about a candidate or a party, and do not fill out forms for individuals. Let them do that on their own, but you may collect forms and then deliver them or give them to another member to deliver to the county election office. One of the most common issues we come up against is folks that have moved but have not updated their voting registration. That's very important that they do that. So please ask folks if they are registered with their correct address, and they can check whether they are by going either to ksvotes.org or to the Secretary of State website, which is myvoteinfo.voteks.org. In Kansas, we still have the ability to request a no excuse mail-in ballot, which you can also do at ksvotes.org. And we encourage people to vote by mail. The main difference this year is that the 3-day grace period after Election Day has been eliminated. This is what ksvotes.org looks like when you go to that website. And this is what myvoteinfo.voteks.org looks like. This is the Secretary of State website. Personally, I think this is the fastest place to go look up if someone needs help finding out whether their voter registration is up to date. Any tabling volunteer, I think, can easily, on your phone or the tablet, go to this website because all you need is the first and last name and their date of birth. You need a little bit more information to access their registration status on ksvotes.org. A voter will either need their Kansas driver's license number or the last 4 digits of their social security number. To register to vote in Kansas, you cannot use an out-of-state driver's license. If someone has newly moved here but hasn't had the chance to update that information yet, they will have to use the last 4 digits of their social security number, but they still may do that to register to vote. Some important deadlines. The last day to change your party affiliation, if you would like to vote in the Democratic or Republican primary on August 4th, that date is June 1st. It is possible to vote just on the constitutional amendment in the primary. The voter will be given a ballot with just that issue on it, but you have to be a member of a party to vote in the party primary. The last day to register to vote in the primary is July 14th, and then advanced in-person voting begins the next day and goes until August 5th. July 28th is the deadline to request a mail-in ballot, and then the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Tuesday, August 4th for the primary. For the general election, the last day to register to vote for the general is October 13th. And then advanced voting in person begins, and mail-in ballots must be requested by the 27th. And November 3rd is the general election. This is probably the most powerful question you can ask any voter who is registered. How do you plan to vote? Because it gets them thinking about what that plan looks like. And then you can talk about what their options are. Also, talking to recently graduated high school seniors, talk to them about whether they plan to vote in their new state, if that is permitted, or if they wanted to vote in Kansas. If they want to vote from their home address and they're going to college out of state, they can do that. They will have to order a mail-in ballot at ksvotes.org or the Secretary of State website. And if they vote in state from home, they can do that from their home address or from their new Kansas address. And they would have to then vote at their new polling location at their college or university in Kansas. There are 3 main ways to vote for everybody who's registered. If you would like to vote at home, request that mail-in ballot as soon as you can, and make sure you leave at least 11 days to get it back to the election office if you mail it back, because there's no more grace period. All ballots must be received by close of polls on election day. Please do that as early as possible. You may also take it to a drop box, and there will be drop box locations posted on the Douglas County Elections website. There's usually one at the courthouse. There's one at the election office for sure. Or you can take it to your polling location, and they have a special bag at the polls for mail-in ballots to be collected. You should not request a new ballot. There's one ballot per voter. So if you got a mail-in ballot and it came to you, fill it out and get it back through one of these methods. The second way to vote is in advance in person, and you don't need a special reason to do that. You will go to the election office at 711 West 23rd Street, which is across the street from Checkers in the same strip mall as Westlake Ace Hardware. And then, of course, you can go to your polling place in person on election day. And if you are in line by 7 p.m., they have to let you vote. Polls will open at 7 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. If you've moved or are moving, there is a 30-day grace period, and that is 30 days from election day, where if you go to your old precinct and vote, your ballot will be counted and not provisionally. But if you've moved and you're still registered at your old polling location, but you go to vote at your new polling location, you can vote, and it will be a provisional ballot, which will be then cured later. If you are unable to easily get to a polling location, you can apply for a permanent advanced ballot, but you have to have a reason for a permanent advanced ballot that you will have to provide. You can download that application at the Douglas County Election Office or at the Secretary of State office. If you have had a felony conviction in your past, if you have completed your sentencing and your probation and you are off papers, you may re-register to vote. If you are unhoused and you don't have an address, you can use the address for the Lawrence Community Shelter or the other shelter address at 9th and Kentucky. If you reside there sometimes, then that can be an address of residence for you to register to vote. If your birthday is right before the election, as long as you are 18 before or on election day and a citizen, you may vote. Those of you who live in a retirement community, note that if you have a change of address within the retirement community, if you're moving to a different unit, that is a residential address change, and you should update your voting registration. Some folks have expressed concern about the purges they've heard about or are worried about their registration disappearing, etc. Ed Healy from the Douglas County Election Office wants to let everybody know that only the Douglas County Election Office can change the voter rolls, and only then when there are very specific circumstances and permission of the voter. The federal government does not have access to those voting rolls, and neither, according to Ed Haley, does the Secretary of State. If you have any other questions about elections and voting, call the Douglas County Election Office, 785-832-5267. For all of you who are new volunteers with the league, thank you so much. Hopefully you can get signed up to table with an experienced league member to ask them questions, or you can call or text someone in the league. Our phone numbers will be available to you. Thanks again for helping to support democracy.